What if the key to a stronger, better version of yourself lies in doing just one hard thing every single day?
Okay, let me be honest. I totally failed at that.
I've had some friends say that I'm pretty self-disciplined, but there are moments where I do question myself. And so I want to go on a journey for January to really challenge myself with self-discipline. I'm excited, but also scared and nervous and a little bit terrified. Okay, if I'm being honest. And today is day one. And my challenge for today is like having a cold plunge or a cold shower of some sort. There's lots of benefits to that. Okay, ready?
No.
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
I said no.
Oh my god, that was so freaking cold! It's not so bad now.
Yeah.
It's not so bad now. I checked the temperature daily and it said it was 65 degrees. So the cold plunge, it says 50 to 60 degrees. So it's actually a little bit warmer than typically a cold plunge is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Molly's in the way.
Mommy. Hey. Hey, look, you're actually all the way in there.
All the way in and it's not so bad now.
Yeah, and I'm just on the steps.
You got out. Like, jumped out as soon as you got in. It was cold. Okay, has it been long enough? I don't know how long it's been. So it's day 2 of my self-discipline challenge, and today's goal is to fast for 24 hours. It is currently 8:55, and I'm pretty hungry. So I think I'm gonna drink some water, and then my goal is going to be to just stay busy. I have a lot of things to do today, like later this afternoon, but it's going to be really important for me to just stay busy and stay hydrated. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll check back in. Okay, it's day 2. I'm getting ready for bed, and I have not eaten anything all day, but in the morning, I cannot wait to eat that set of pancakes that's sitting in the fridge just for me. But also, I'm not really hungry. Thirsty? Yes. Should I probably drink some water? Yes. But I'm just gonna go to bed and I don't want to have to wake up in the middle of the night. So we're good. 24 hours, I did it. High five. Day 3 was digital detox. So I did not take my phone with me. I turned it off the night before on day 2, and all day went without my phone. Now, driving to work was probably the most difficult because I had some anxiety about what if someone needs me. I'm not sure that I can handle not having my phone with me all the time. But honestly, I knew that the likelihood of that happening or there being an emergency was very slim, and I don't get very many messages in the day, so it was probably fine. And it was, and I made it all day long, and that was the only like little bit of anxiety I had about it. But then at lunchtime, I was a little bit bored because I didn't have my phone to like scroll or to watch a YouTube video on or something like that. But I survived and made it through. And then at night, not watching TV, and I usually have that habit. So I'm feeling like a lot of these things are happening, like the fasting and the detox, the digital detox, is really about my habits and incorporating bad habits and trying to figure out how to replace those. So just eating randomly because it's the specific time to eat, or getting on my phone because there is that extra minute, or I just want something else to do and it's not that valuable. So I just ended up playing Sudoku before bed instead of watching TV. And my husband read a book next to me, so I felt like we still had some quality time together and not watching TV. So that was amazing. And probably going to incorporate doing this a little bit more frequently because I really enjoyed not having that feeling like I need to check on something or constantly be looking at something. So anyway, yeah, day 3 done. Today is day 4 and it is minimalist day. And minimalist day, my goal is to just simply find objects or things in my house to get rid of, because that is helping me be a little bit more minimalistic. It's day 5 and that means sleeping on the floor. So there's my bed. Here's the floor. I'm on a yoga mat. I'm not going to do it too terrible because I am still going to have a pillow and a blanket. But this is probably going to be the hardest challenge for me because I value sleep so much. And I am not ready to do this. I do not want a horrible night's sleep. But I did look and see what are some benefits of sleeping on the floor. And one of the things said was like it can help with back pain. And it's pretty traditional for some people to do, like the Japanese. But one of the reasons I'm doing it is because it is something very hard to do. And you never know what kind of situation you might run into where you might have to sleep on the floor. You might have to sleep on the ground, outside. I mean, you just never know what kind of situation you might run into. And so if I have practiced it before, then it's going to be easier if that occurrence ever happens. And hopefully it never will. But, you know, it's not going to hurt anything to practice this for self-discipline and see if I can challenge myself to get through something difficult. Wish me luck. Well, it's morning time. And, no, I didn't make it. I'm back in the bed. I'm so sorry. I did like an hour and a half, but it was tough. And now both my hips feel bruised. I could not do this challenge. It's day 6 now. And it is the 75 hard challenge. And it's a Saturday, which is why I chose 75 hard to be on a Saturday, because I feel like this is going to be so time consuming for me and incorporate everything in my day. It's going to take all day long. Okay. So the 75 hard has 4 main things that you have to do. One is you have to have 2 workouts. One has to be outside, 1 gallon of water. So I have my 32-ounce cup here, and I've got to have all of this drunk, something. Anyway, by 10 o'clock. It is now 7:46, so 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then I've got to drink 1 every 3 hours. That is the plan and the goal. So I need a toilet nearby me at all times. It's gonna be a lot. Oh gosh, I'm scared to death. I'm very anxious about today. I've done 75 hard before, but haven't been in a good rhythm and routine of any of this, none of this. So it's definitely gonna be a challenge for me. Third thing is that you have to stick to a diet. So I created a cleanse for January. My book for January, starting in January, is Arte. So I've met Brian Johnson, who wrote this book. I did a heroic coaching program, and I've been through all of this. I probably read all of this before, but he had just put it into a book and it released a year ago. And so I just want to go back through it again because it was such great information and it's just very, very, very helpful. I've already read like this much of it, but yeah. So each thing is set up to be like very short, so you can have a lot of stopping points and just finish whenever, right? Okay. And a lot of it is very actionable, which is something I really, really like. So here, I'll read you just a little bit of it. When we think of big, and I mean really big, we usually think of the sun. It is massive, right? In fact, it could fit 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. Let that sink in. According to astronomer and scientist Michelle Thorell, if you were to shrink the sun down to the size of the dot in the letter I right here on the page, that tiny little dot, if you made the sun that big, then the relative size of our galaxy, the Milky Way, would be the size of Earth. Take a minute to visualize that. Let's not stop there. A while back, astronomers found a tiny section of the night sky that appeared to be empty. And tiny means the size of the head of a pin if you held it out at arm's length. If you were to hold that tiny pinhead up to the sky, then that little tiny portion of the sky appeared completely void of celestial light. So they focused the Hubble telescope up there and let it absorb light for 10 days. And in that tiny, tiny dark part of the night sky, which looked completely empty, they ended up discovering 3,000 galaxies. So what does all of this mean? You, me, all of us? Our daily crises and dramas and getting pissed off because the barista forgot to put 3.5 soy vegan sprinkles in our lattes. When we start to imagine this massive universal perspective, we start to see that no matter what we are thinking or doing, it's really just not that big of a deal. And it never will be. Pause. Reflect. That's our +1. We're not a big deal. That is really liberating. Big deal. Let's zoom out far enough to see that all those daily crises and dramas just aren't a big deal, period. Then let's zoom back in and enjoy this precious life of ours today. Good stuff, good stuff. So if you haven't gotten a copy of Arte, pick one up if this is your jam to have some amazing wisdom brought to you. And I'm going to finish my pages here. One of my favorite workout programs has been P90X. I know it's old, but it's still really good. And I always like the Kimpo X so I can get some kickboxing done. So let's get started.
There is a routine that is fun. It is Kimpo X. It's moving, it's grooving.
You know anything about neurodiversity?
And then come back up. Nice and tall. Same thing, back to it. We go all the way down this time. Turn, holding on that wrist. Come all the way down. I feel so many fantastic places. Oh, isn't that enough? But I guess my wrist. Oh, I got a crack.
Okay, I just finished it and now I feel like taking a nap. The true test, is this even good? Not bad. Does need some ice or something though. It's day 7 of my self-discipline challenge, and today is meditating for one hour. And the most I've ever meditated for is probably about 15 minutes. I'm not like great at it, even though I really try to be. So I really am hoping that this practice is going to help me get my mind clean and centered, but we shall see. I cannot believe I just did that. I sat here for 1 hour, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It was hard. I mean, the first 17 minutes, I didn't even look at my watch. So that was good. I was able to do some breathing exercises, but I did lay down some. I got a blanket because I got chilly. I worked in the sand tray a little bit, and then I lit a candle to sort of watch the flame because I thought that would be very meditative. But then it started to burn my bookshelf, so I had to blow it out. But I do feel like it's helped me to reconnect and build the light that was losing a little bit of light from this past week, where I had to listen to a lot of pretty traumatic things from clients and students. And so that was really, really nice. I feel really good about starting my day like this, because I think I'm going to be able to notice the small moments a little bit more and have a little bit more joy in those moments. That's how the meditation went.
So let's recap this 7-day self-discipline challenge. Day 1, the cold plunge. I didn't like the shock of being cold, but I might try a warm shower and then slowly increasing the cold. But I did like how after the cold shower, you feel really warm. It's like when you get out of the shower, but you're cold, but then you switch it and then you take the cold shower and then you feel warm, you know? I know this is something that I need to improve, especially for my skin, since it's really dry, and it would be very helpful if I started this. So maybe once a week, a cold shower, and when I feel a little spicy, I might jump in the pool. I know I can do it, and having the support of my daughter was also a really special experience. Now, day 2 recap was the 24-hour fast, and my goal has been to implement this in my routine once a month with intermittent fasting. The real key for this will be choosing a day that can be so busy that food isn't even thought about. And that's something that I've learned about self-discipline, is having the right timing is going to be really crucial. And the thing I like about fasting is that it helps to reset my hunger cues and helps me to know when I'm full. My body doesn't seem to do that naturally unless I allow my stomach to shrink some. And then day 3 recap is the digital detox. 100%. I need to do this once a week. But again, I need to be careful about what day and choose a time that it would be safe for me to not need my phone for that day. I felt so much better, and I even started setting timers on my phone to get me off of social media and my phone more often. Day 4 recap was the minimalist day, and that was pretty easy. I think my key to this doesn't need to be giving away things. It's the not buying it in the first place that is more problematic to me. And then day 5 recap was the sleeping on the floor, which I was unsuccessful doing, but that taught me that I don't have to do hard things if it costs my body unnecessary pain. I don't think getting bruised hips is beneficial, and what may work for some doesn't mean it has to work for me as long as I have tried it. Day 6 recap was the 75 hard, and I had a good time with this one. I was surprised I could make it all the way through with the water intake. That was probably the hardest part. It's so mentally draining to me to think about checking off all these little tasks that it made it really harder to implement. Consistently it would. I'd have to start with just one thing at a time, and then that would take me 6 months to create that routine. But overall, I don't find it to be worth it for me personally. Then we have day 7, and that recap was the 1-hour meditation. And I think I need to implement this more often as well. Maybe once a week would do me some good. I think a reset on Friday after work, so that could help prepare me for a fresh weekend, or the Sunday before going back to work on Monday could also really help. I just felt so much more clear-headed afterwards, with a sense of peace and calm. So here's my question to you. Which challenge would you try? Have you done any of these? What's been your experience? I'd love to know, so tell me in the comments, and go master your next moment.